What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I am here once again with another update on my GPB USD analysis. It's been a couple hours now. I started around, I think I got in that trade around 7 o'clock or so, I want to say. It is now 12:18 a.m. And some things have progressed, but not really. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the chart and see what's happened here. All right, so here I'm on the 4 hour. As you can see, it's backed up into my into the red zone here. Hasn't hit my stop loss yet, luckily, but it has backed up a little bit further into the zone, a little bit further than I wanted it to be, and I think I may have found some reasons why. Right, it looks it's dropped. It started to drop again, and once I take a closer look at it, if I'm still correct on this, and it is going to drop, I think I found out the reason why. And I see I may have made a mistake, a key mistake here. So, and I could have got a better entry, and if I want to, I can probably enter again for a third time. But what I see is now that I'm looking left, right, or once I think I went to the 15-minute and got a little bit closer in on it, right? Once I got to the 15-minute, I started looking left. I noticed this right here. Right, so my entry, on the 4 hour, this shows about equal to where this institutional candle is, right? Once you dive in a little bit closer on the 15, you can see that there is a lot of imbalance right through here, right where it's going up to, there's a lot of imbalance. So if I would have noticed that beforehand, I believe I probably could have set my entry to here, because as you can see, imbalance is taking place all the way through here. It's just one big long candle, that it's all imbalance up until here, right? Or actually maybe here, because you see this candle here is probably closing that balance. So you have just this little area right here. So if I take this and I go horizontal with it, look, touches exactly where it's starting to drop again. So if I would have got a little bit closer than I did, than I would have last time, zoomed in on a closer minute chart, a 15-minute chart like I am right now, I could have had a way better entry, right? And that entry, let's see here, would have been right here. And then my stop loss would be right here. And if that's the case, look at that then I would have had a 16, almost 17 to 1 risk reward ratio, and that is if I am going to just the imbalance zone that I want to go to. Hold on. Let's see here. Let me put this together a little bit further. So that's only if I just want to go to, this imbalance zone here. I'm not even trying to go for the full shebang. This would probably be more like I guess it could be a take profit too. I have my first take profit set here. Probably could have set a second one for here or here. Somewhere in this accumulation area. Definitely a third take profit. But I wanted to go for the whole shebang, but I don't think it's going to reach all the way back down here. There's a possibility, but I definitely think it can reach here just because there's a huge imbalance zone right here. And there was also a huge imbalance zone right here, which is the reason why it is backed up so much into my stop loss area, or my red area. But I'm just gonna go ahead and set it back to what my original entry was. That way I'm not trying to cheat the system here. My original entry is 24853. Is that right? 24853. Eight five three. Profit level. My first take profit. Well, we'll leave that as it is because that's the zone that I want it to be at. And my stop loss is at 25071. That is correct. So currently I'm sitting. Let me pull this down a little bit more. And this thing loves to just pull up and think I'm trying to. But anyway, yeah, somewhere around in here. It's about halfway through the imbalance zone. So right now I'm backed up pretty far into my red area, about a little bit less than 10 pips in, about 10 pips, in. And again, just looking at that, I see the mistake that I made now, and probably could have done a little bit better, on that opening, But I believe I had the right idea, but we'll see. Like I said, it's been a couple hours, and this trade is still happening. It's still backing up, but then again, like I said, it did start falling, and it looks like it's starting to go back up again. But then again, that's what's happening with these things. I'm seeing a few calls on TradingView to say go long. I'm seeing a couple saying it's retesting trend line, which we don't really go by trend lines by COP. I mean, you can put 2 points together and say it's a trend. We look for candles, and we look for the operators that are manipulating the market and where they play at, and that's what we're trying to find, and we're trying to go to those levels and beat them at their own game. But it's not too bad right now. As you can see, it's still playing out, still going up. But I don't even know what this. I think this is the level that I had for my entry. Just some line I had. There we go, I'll leave it there. Just a faint little green line. But now that I've been zooming a little bit closer, from that 4-hour institutional candle, it kind of gives a little bit of a zigzag here. So again, once I zoomed in, I probably could have done a little bit better as far as finding the better entry and knowing if this was going to be a good trade or not. I still have a good feeling about this. I still think it's going to drop. I don't think it's I don't think it's going to continue moving upwards or trending upwards, only because if we look at this from, well, for one, let me go back to the 4-hour. Actually, let's go to that 2-hour. Take a look at this from a 2-hour standpoint. Alright, so if we take this from a 2-hour standpoint, we're still in a trending range. We're just at the higher end of a trending range, right? And at the higher end of the trending range, if you check out the RSI, we're at the higher end of the RSI. I still believe the divergence here is giving us a sign as well. I believe there's maybe just a little bit too much at play. And now maybe my stop loss could be a little bit higher. I'm not for sure. But in the candle that I chose, which is this one right here, right? And larger time frames trump smaller time frames from the education that I have received. That's what I've always been told. See, I have this institutional candle right here, just that huge upthrust, right? But we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. All right. Hey, what's up? I am back. I wanted to give you an update on what happened the other night. With that trade I was in, the GBPUSD. Last I was showing you, it was going up pretty, deep into my stop loss zone. And let's take a look at what happened. All right. Yeah, I got some people hitting me up. Great. Anyway, here's the chart. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to mute this. 1 second, guys. I'm in a chat about US 30, and all they do is just they don't even know what they talk about. They're talking about drinking water right now. Are you kidding me? Anyway, back to this chart. So as you can see, this was the candle that I had entered in right here. This one I have highlighted. That was the one I had entered on, and I was hoping for just a huge shoot down. And as you can see, it played around a little bit, and then bam. Yeah, I was getting a lot of calls to buy GBPUSD, and I kept seeing it come over TradingView, and sure enough, that's kind of what happened. So unfortunately, the call that I had thought happened did not happen. You live and you learn. I took closer looks, and maybe I can take a look and see what went wrong. So as I was saying, I think this was the right here was that candle. Damn it. That was the candle. That was the buying pressure up. This was the last candle down, right? And so my entry was set to here. Horizontal array was set right there. And it did. That was right where it pushed off of, right? And it was starting to move down, and I was happy about it. And then it started going up, and and it was flirting with my stop loss, and then eventually it just took me out. So, like a lesson learned, wasn't for sure exactly what went wrong. I thought that was the candle. That could have been the candle that took me. Another reason why I thought is because there was a huge. You can see there's just this, huge imbalance right here. I mean, some of that imbalance got taken out, but I thought maybe it would still come down and grab this imbalance, because there's been some others that I've seen lately have that. So with that being said, let's go over some others that I've been taking a look at. NZDUSD. I had somebody call it a trade today, and it looked like it's starting to take off. Right, so let's take a look at the 4-hour first to see what we got going on. Alright, so here it looks like we have about a seller's climax. Looks like we have a test. Kind of a little bit of rally down. You see a huge operator candle down here, or a sponsor candle, or a buying candle, whatever you want to call it. It is just one solid green Maribozu candle. I mean, I wish I had seen this, a couple weeks ago, because you knew it was going to come right back down to this. Because look, as soon as this comes down, buying candle right back up. Eventually flirts with it, gives you those equal lows. Everybody's thinking it's going to go up. It's going to go up. Here's the support line. And of course, what does it do? It shoots right back down, takes everybody out of their stop loss, right? And there was the entry to take, because there it went. it just went and it kept going. Now the interesting part is that now that we're on the upside, I had an educator today, had him call out a trade on this, and it was interesting because the trade right here, you see some, there's just some fairly, decent sized candles until you get here, until you get into this area. Now you're getting some decent sized candles. Well, that was the trading day overnight today. Um, and so I just kind of want to take a deeper dive and look at these candles because of the call that he made. Because he made a call off of this and it's still running. I got into it. I got the first take profit. I jumped out. Just because, hey, take profit one, I will take it. It was 30 pips. And let's take a closer look at this on the 1 hour. Alright, so the call was this here. Let me pull it out just a little bit more. So first, let me take a look at these. As you're going up, you can kind of see some imbalances here, right? I have them highlighted green. So you got an imbalance here. As you can see, you get this candle here. There's just a lot of buying pressure, right? A lot of buying pressure. There is no, it doesn't seem like there's any kind of, I'm sure that while this candle was happening, of course, it was fluctuating back and forth and it just goes straight up. But there's a lot of buying pressure in that candle. Now, from what I've been taught, these candles act as magnets, right, to retract to. The reason being, I don't know. I really don't know why they retracted these candles, but that is what I have been taught. And also, it looks like there was a little bit right here. Now, the thing about this one is that it looks like it has been trying to fill these imbalances as these wicks come down, right? The wicks come down trying to fill these imbalances. But that also says that there's probably still could be a little bit more of imbalance left. See, I shouldn't have moved that because that was actually one of the take profit zones. I meant to move this out of the way so we could take a look, see if there's a little bit of imbalance left. There could be some imbalance down here, just because it looks like it's not huge selling pressure, but there is, quite a bit of selling pressure. And there has to be a reason why these are retracting back to these. So if anything, it's a good resistance point as well. So it's one of the take profit levels. But I'm just gonna move this back up here just because this was to me this is a liquidity zone. This is where people's have their stop losses. They're set below here. So eventually it's gonna want to try to take out these stop losses down below here, right? Now up here is the candles that we were talking about. Look at these. We have two large institutional candles, right? So you have this one, which I believe is the buy to sell candle. So you have all this buying pressure, right? And you even have a wick off of it because it gets to the point to where the price it's being overbought. It's being overbought, so it needs to sell. So now we're overbuying to sell. Alright, so the thing about this candle is that once we reached this candle, there was an imbalance zone in here as well. And if we can even get a little bit closer, maybe get to the 15-minute, we can find out an imbalance. So you can see it right there. There is a nasty selling imbalance right there to where just up here too. It looks like there, maybe this just was a little bit too much accumulation, and that's why I didn't think it would retract back to here. But I definitely thought this had the potential to act as a magnet because there was so much selling pressure. Right, so I got the signal sometime this morning around 7 o'clock, and the signal, I believe, was actually right here was the entry point. It was for some reason, it was this one. It was this imbalance right here. I'll have to go ahead and throw a little one over here. All right, so that was the actual entry that I was told to enter on, and this was. The stop loss was just past this wick above it. I didn't enter there. I took a look at it. I took a little bit closer, and that's when I noticed this imbalance zone, and so I waited, and it hit the imbalance zone, and I didn't immediately enter. And the only reason I didn't immediately enter is because, well, it didn't complete that imbalance zone, right? So I was at work, unfortunately, but I'm still watching it. But I did catch this one. The second time it entered, I said, okay, it's going to eventually fill this imbalance zone. So I entered on this second time it entered because I had drawn this out. I didn't, again, I had set my stop loss, luckily, just above this wick. I think it was only about 4 or 5 pips or something like that. It wasn't that many pips. But I set my stop loss just above here, and I had entered right here. Let me take a ruler and give you a little bit of an idea what that is. Yeah, look, I think I made it exactly 5 pips, something like that, 4.9. Yeah, that entry to just above the wick of that candle, about 5 pips. So I wasn't too worried if it was going to hit the stop loss. This is what I love about smart money trading in Wyckoff, is that whenever you understand it, you know it's going to fill something and immediately exit the area. You feel more confident about your trading, right? So after I entered there, the take profit level for him, for the person that sent out this trade, was only from here to here. Only from here to here, the top of this. And I always, I'm not gonna. I'll look at what people got. Granted, he's a good educator. Here to here, 14 pips. Easy 14 pips is what he was thinking it would have been. I was looking at it too, and I thought, that was definitely a good spot to go to. 25 pips, or actually whatever I entered. Let me do this again, because I entered right around this area here. Would have been a good 25 pips, but I saw I saw there was more of an imbalance, so I actually set my stop loss there, set my take profit here, to this level, just because I felt like it was gonna, you had all this imbalance zone that it didn't take out, so I had about 3 trades set, and then it hit those, started to move back up, and I just immediately took profit from all 3, just because I wasn't 100% sure if it was going to make it down to these other zones. There was some other trades I was looking at as well. I think NAS and SPX were flirting with, the highs and the lows too, so I wanted to see if I couldn't jump. I don't like having too many trades going on at once. But now what I'm looking at is I might actually re-enter this trade, because we still have these institutional candles going on right now, right? You got these, and the thing is that it's in, it's 8:37 p.m. Central Time, New Zealand time. It's in the morning. There is some imbalance right here if we're looking at it on the 15-minute chart. So let me get my phone out, because I might actually be entering this trade right now. Let me get Euro NZD. Or sorry, NZDUSD. Because I see this as an imbalance zone that it is being attracted to. I see the overall movement of this. I don't see this as a. Let me look at it as a. I mean, yeah, it did take off. It is being kind of a bearish chart. Of course, if you do this, just go down here. It has taken off from this level way down here. But up here we have some interruptions, right? We have some banks playing around in the game right now. And definitely right now, The Australian banks are probably playing in this with with the U.S. dollar, or the New Zealand banks, I should say. So I'm gonna get back in here into this 15-minute, get a little bit closer look. I mean, this could be an easy 15-20 pip play. I don't know, but I would definitely set my stop loss just above here. You can see it's already getting close. It's wanting to retract. But if I do, I'll set my stop loss somewhere around here, just above this candle. And I probably want to enter as soon as it gets into this imbalance zone. I may want to wait until it gets farther into it if I can. But there's definitely some buying pressure right now. But what I'm thinking is that it's buying to sell. That's what it's been doing, and that's what these tend to do. I don't think, of course, a lot of people would say, no, it's a trend. Let's draw two lines together. It's a trend. It's going up. It's not necessarily what I'm looking for. I'm looking for imbalances in the market. We might see a live trade happen, play out. I don't know. I'm watching. Didn't think we'd get one on camera. Jesus Christ. Somebody's telling me to sell gold. Hold on, let's check gold really quick before we do this. XAUUSD is a sell gold at 1800. Hold on, I just got a signal from sell limit SPX 3167. Alright, I'm actually going to enter a sell limit on SPX right now just because I got a signal from a paid sell limit 3167. Alright, it's saying to sell SPX at 3167. Stop loss 3188. Delete one. 3167 3188. Oh, nope, not a market execution. Modify. trade, sell limit 3167, stop loss 3188, take profit 3157. Second take profit is 3147 or 3100. I'm just gonna say the second one is 3100. $3167, stop loss 3188. What is that? 19. So essentially, if I do 3 trades and I hit the stop loss, I have a 0.01. That's $60. I can afford that. That's not a bad idea. If I win a lot. And I paid for this, so stop loss 3188. And take profit 2 is 3147. Max execution, sell limit 3167. Stop loss 3188. Take profit 3147. Alright, so I have 3 bids placed on SPX 500 right now. But it's not going to happen until it reaches here. As you can see, I like lots of lines and angles and stuff on my chart. Anyway, let's do a line. Let's do a thicker line. And let's hit OK, and let's get rid of Fibonacci. I always like to mark, when the day's happening. And this guy named Zion likes to sell XAU USD, stop loss 1800. I don't know about that. This guy Zion who sends out trades, he's not a very good one. And he put out a 2.2 trade, $2 trade. He made 10 pips and 6 pips. This is what he thinks is amazing. It's like, come on, this is why I don't take his trades, because you're down. You're always in the red for about a day and a half. You go down about 30-40 pips. That's how much he sets his stop losses, and then he'll get 6 pips, 12 pips, and then he'll, it's like, why didn't you just hit sell? Because you're gonna be better at selling that anyway. Anyways, looking at NZDUSD is what I was looking at. Let's look, see, I don't know if it got there. See, that's what I'm saying. They act as magnets. These areas of imbalance. It may have hit a area of imbalance, and I just didn't see it. I mean, let's get in on the 5-minute. See, it's just massively dropping. Oh, I missed it. Yeah, look at that. It's just a solid Maribosi right here. Once you see that solid mirror, it just tells you that there's so much buying pressure. They're trying to get back up into this area to unleash on some of those, especially some of these buying trades that they've got going on. That way they can at least just break even. If they get back up, if they're buying up into there, break even on that trade, because eventually they're going to make more money actually going down from the sell that they made from up here. Because they could have made this push up here. They could have put it in, one of their last entries right here. And that's what institutions do. They have that huge push. They'll put in a huge trade and it just pushes it up so far. And then they'll sell it. And then they'll make more money off the sell. That way they'll just buy a little bit more, buy it until it goes right back up. They'll unload those positions. That way they can make more money off the sell. That's how they work. Anyways, I just wanted to go back and show you guys what happened with the GBPUSD trade. How many pips was that? See, this is the kind of thing, if I can just catch these moves and just get a couple pips, 5 pips, throw in 3, 2-lot trades, and you got yourself $60 right there. Or, little things like that you can catch just by knowing that, you're going to be entering, the zone. It's going to automatically reject, And there's a thing, it probably came back up to, when these things go into the trading ranges, you never know which candle it's going to go to next. And it probably came maybe to, this one, this buy to sell. So maybe they had to unload some here. And maybe this is going to go higher. To be honest, I don't think it, it was like earlier, whenever it got into that trading range. I don't think it got all the way into the trading range. Or not the trading range, the imbalance zone. So I'm going to pull this back here, because I think it just tipped the balance zone. So anyways, that's enough of me rambling, guys. I'm just going through what I normally do, and I'm taking you guys with me. For some reason, I don't feel that. Maybe I'm entertaining, I don't know, who knows. But I just like to look at charts. And I like to hold this cool little microphone here that I got, for podcasts. And even though I'm not really a podcaster, I'm not really anything. I really suck at trading. I'm not the best trader. I like learning, though. I like learning skills and new things. And I got some trades plugged into my phone here, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the SPX. I'll bring you back for that. All right. See you guys. First, I gotta do this though. Yeah. So I'm calling this. I'm calling it bodies and wicks, because candles. I got bodies and wicks. Thought that was clever.